This is Valley News Live at 10.
Welcome to Valley News Live at 10. I'm Justin Betty.
And I'm Stacy Van Dyke. This weekend's storm is looking like it's set to miss the metro, but it's already causing some trouble for those looking to travel south. Let's head straight to Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson for the very latest. Hutch.
Thanks so much, Stacy and Justin. Good evening, everyone. Closing out our work week with warmer weather, and that weekend storm is on track. It's going to impact our region. A lot of travelers wanting to head out and about, and a few of our counties will get some measurable snow. So the first alert weather days remain. Mainly a southern and southeastern impact in our area. A narrow band of heavy snow will be making its way through, and some areas could pick up some significant ice. Let's go to the big wall here and take a look at this system as it works its way in tomorrow afternoon. Noon hour and midday. We're going to see this thing starting on the I-29 corridor in South Dakota. There's going to be areas of sleet in pink here, freezing rain and snow. Now, we're going to have some thunderstorms as well out toward the Twin Cities. A few could be strong to severe south of the Twin Cities, as this system will be very dynamic. Gusty north winds will accompany the snow. By the time we get to the 5 o'clock hour, we'll have some significant accumulations building in South Dakota, and it will be crossing over the I-94 corridor with icing continuing. Now, the icing changes over to snow as we go into the late night hours. Gusty north winds will cause blowing snow. So from 5 o'clock into the overnight hours will be the worst. This thing's out of here by daybreak. That's the good news. It's mainly going to impact the night, but we will have a band of 4 to 6 inches of snow. I think Fargo gets under an inch, but some of our counties could get close to an inch. And southeast of us, Grant, Wilkin, your area, even part of eastern Otter Tail could see upwards of 4 to 6 inches in places. Look at that, 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of ice east out in I-94 territory out there and south on I-29. So take it slow, and I'll have hour-by-hour details, and we'll look ahead in a few minutes.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Hutch.
Now to a Valley News Live whistleblower investigation. A local mom is concerned about her son's safety. She says he's been getting bullied since the beginning of the school year, and the school has failed to do enough. She says her 8-year-old son, Camden, has been continuously attacked by a group of students during recess. She says she thought things were getting a little better after filing a police report back in October, but she says this week that all changed. She feels kids at the school aren't being monitored the way they should.
There's supposedly all this supervision, all these recess teachers. Well, where are they when there's 4 kids on top of mine on a daily basis? Now our son comes home with blood coming from scrapes on his face. I just don't understand why this needs to happen.
West Fargo school officials won't comment on this specific incident, but they say the district takes allegations of bullying seriously by fully investigating. If you need help uncovering fraud or corruption in your community, call our whistleblower hotline. The number there is 701-237-6576, and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth.
Fargo police are investigating an alleged assault that happened after school in the Osgood area. Officers say that happened just after 3:30 yesterday. 4 children, they say, were approached by a teen, and then there was some type of physical altercation. Police say a report was filed for assault. Today, a parent posted on social media saying her daughter and 3 friends were walking home from Osgood Elementary when they were approached by someone who grabbed one of the girls and tried to carry her away. Police tell us there is no information to suggest this was an attempted abduction, but investigators are working with children and parents to understand what happened. We'll tell you more as we learn more here on Valley News Live. New tonight at 10, throughout this school year, many districts have struggled to find enough teachers, whether it's because staff's been out sick or simply a lack of subs.
But soon, the Fargo Board of Education might put more money into the pockets of daily substitute teachers in an effort to recruit and retain more of them. Valley News Team's Alex Larson explains.
With COVID quarantines and isolation, area school districts have never seen such a high need for substitute teachers. And the hope is that more money will entice more workers to help. Right now, Fargo and West Fargo school districts offer daily subs $112 a day. Moorhead offers $2 more. Some on the Fargo Board of Education are hoping to up that to $200 a day for elementary subs and $175 a day for middle and high school. But with the more than $80 raise for one day, the memo says surrounding districts will probably have to adjust their rates to keep up. However, some feedback has shown that there are substitutes who are loyal to a certain district and prefer to stay there. One problem with the proposal that the school board found last month is that the amount of funding for permanent staff wages would be difficult to increase if they're spending a substantial amount of money increasing daily sub wages. On top of that, the daily rate for a long-term sub at Fargo Public Schools is $228. By raising the rate of daily subs, there wouldn't be much of a gap left between the two groups. And the district says the hope is always to influence subs to sign long-term agreements with a commitment to 175 student contact days. In studio, Alex Larson, Valley News Live.
The board is set to vote on this matter on Tuesday. Foul play is not suspected after a body was found in the 1200 block of 43rd Street North in Grand Forks today. Law enforcement officials say the male suspect was found deceased, but there is no danger to the public. The person's name will be released, they say, after they notify family.
The man police say is responsible for yesterday's day-long standoff in Richland County has been charged, but not for that incident. Court records say Adam Prochnow is being charged with arson for setting off a homemade bomb at the Richland County Law Enforcement Center Tuesday. Police say they were attempting to get a search warrant for his property yesterday. Before that search, police say he lit his garage on fire and started putting threatening posts on Facebook. So far, he still has not been charged with anything related to that incident. He's being held at the Cass County Jail. A
Fargo man has pleaded guilty to embezzling funds from a nonprofit in West Fargo. Eric Jorgensen pleaded guilty to felony theft deception for his time volunteering with the West Fargo VFW. According to court documents, Jorgensen was the general manager there, but after about a year, VFW members and leadership were made aware of some missing funds and overdraft fees on their accounts. They said the fraudulent transactions amounted to more than $60,000. According to the plea, Jorgensen was sentenced to 2 years probation, no jail time. A restitution hearing, however, is scheduled for later this month. Still few details about why a West Fargo business was searched by FBI agents yesterday morning. We can confirm FBI agents did search the ProMark Services building on Oak Ridge Loop East. An FBI spokesperson wouldn't say why, only saying the agents were performing a court-authorized law enforcement activity. It would not confirm if there was an investigation there or what the deal was, but said there is no threat to the public.
The family of Caitlin Berry is starting a nonprofit organization following the death of the 26-year-old with ties to Grand Forks. Berry was last seen in Montana back in December. Her body was found a month later. The Caitlin's Voice Foundation now aims at supporting those dealing with mental health and drug and alcohol abuse. The family says they'll also be starting a scholarship for high school seniors. Berry is the daughter of the Grand Forks Assistant State's Attorney. Right now, Russian forces are using cluster bombs, widely banned artillery and other types of weapons, which would be in violation of international law, to carry out their assault on Ukraine.
Yeah, but U.S. and world leaders are still stuck in this weird balancing act, trying to help Ukraine and condemn Russia, while also trying to minimize the risk of world war, potentially nuclear war. Jen Sullivan reports.
In the path of the relentless Russian onslaught in Ukraine, no one is safe, not even innocent civilians.
Hundreds, if not thousands, of Ukrainians have been killed.
It's not only an attack on Ukraine, it's an attack on the security of Europe and on the global peace and stability.
Ukrainian officials are pleading with NATO to establish a no-fly zone over Ukraine.
We believe that NATO countries have created a narrative that closing the skies over Ukraine would provoke Russia's direct aggression against NATO.
United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken says that would trigger a full-fledged war.
The only way to actually implement something like a no-fly zone is to send NATO planes into Ukrainian airspace and to shoot down Russian planes, and that could lead to a full-fledged war. In Europe, President Biden has been clear that we are not going to get into a war with Russia.
Officials around the world are warning the lethal Russian invasion is only going to grow worse in the days ahead.
We're seeing them use increasingly brutal methods, including going at civilians and civilian populations. So I think the terrible expectation is that the suffering we've already seen is likely to get worse.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Russian President Vladimir Putin says a third round of talks between Russia and Ukraine has been scheduled for this weekend.
Whether it's stress from news like that or the weather in the cold winter, Many folks are looking for ways to just escape for a little while, but flying away may cost you more this year. We'll tell you how much.
And in weather, we warmed up very nicely today, and in fact right now we're 15 to 25 degrees warmer than yesterday at this time. We have some snow on the way. Maybe this fellow will help. You remember him after the last blizzard. Getting right to work. Who needs a shovel? Who needs a snow blower? And who needs a squeegee and an umbrella? Your forecast is next.